What's going on, everybody? We got a really good video for you today. We got the 2025 room tour. I know everybody loves a good room tour, right? Well, we got neonates, adults, sub-adults, raise up. I think a couple neonates have changed since the last video. I've got new additions. I've got a couple imports that I've got in the collection now. Just got some really good stuff for you guys. So let's go ahead and start it off by this 2022 Patrick Holmes Biak. It is a female and it was a red neo, and I'm really excited to breed her in the coming years. She's put on some good size in the past year or so. I can't wait to do some awesome stuff with it. If you enjoy this type of stuff, make sure to hit the subscribe, comment, hit the like button. You know, let's go ahead and get into this. I won't keep you waiting. All right, so we're gonna start this video off with my most recent clutch, and the parents to this clutch was Guinness bred to a import Sarong female, and Guinness is a Jaeger baby that exhibits a good amount of melanism, and obviously it was a split clutch. She laid 13 eggs and I got 4 babies out of that. I'll go ahead and show you this red one right here that looks awesome. And these are the first reds that I've ever produced. And it is just a badass little animal. I really can't wait to see what the reds and yellows turn out to be one day. And we got a yellow right here that just looks amazing as well. They're all doing pretty good. They're all eating. They've all had their first shed. They're probably about to go into their second shed at this point. And they just look awesome. And this was my third clutch that I've ever had. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Okay, now the second clutch that I'm going to show you guys was my second clutch that I've ever produced, and this is a pure Sarong clutch. Obviously they were all yellow neos, the parents were yellow, and the female is a second time mom. As far as I know, she was an import, but this is her second clutch that she's had with me, and I'm going to go ahead and show you guys that. They're all relatively similar, so I'm only going to show you a couple. I'll show you my one holdback that I have from the clutch, and as you can see, it's a pretty good size. It was born in July, and it's put on, you know, fairly good size for just, I'd say about 8 months or so, which is kind of why I'm holding it back. You know, I want to see if it's female. They've all done really well. They all ate right off the bat. I haven't really had any problems with any of them. And let's see, oh, here, I'll show you guys this one. This one had the most pattern out of all of them. And she is just a badass little neo. Has some really dark markings to him. Should look really nice whenever it goes through OCC. The next one that I'm gonna show you is actually a snake from my very first clutch. It still has not changed at 25 months old. Obviously it's, you know, in the process of changing right now. It is still not changed, and I will actually show you its sister is right here, who obviously has changed. And again, this is a pure Sarong clutch from my very first clutch. I still have 2 of them left. I'm not selling them. Just a very slow starter. I think it went off food for like 3 months or so, and just a really slow start, but it's been eating great for the past year or so. I guess it'll change whenever it's ready. All right, now the next one is a really badass animal produced by Bill Stiegel, Phoenix Reptiles, and it was born in May, and this is the Freight Train Outbreak baby. And as you can see in the little teaser right there, it is a badass animal. Look at that thing. That is just a sick animal. I can't wait to see what this thing will look like in about a year or two. It's got a really nice blue dorsal. Those yellow diamonds are staying. It's got melanism. It is just turning out to be a phenomenal animal. I'm super excited about this one. And since we're on Bill Stiegel, I might as well show you the only other animal in this rack right here. And surprisingly, the most common question I get whenever I do a room tour or anything is about this rack right here. And the answer to your question is, it was a local guy here in the DFW area that made it. I don't know if he's still making it. I don't think he is, and he does not ship. That's the answer to a lot of questions I get when I do these room tours, is about this rack. This is a 2023 The Flu Manicory baby, again produced by Bill Stiegel, and it's a male, and it has some really nice melanism flecking, has good blue dorsal, has some yellow diamonds, a really good looking animal. Okay. And before we move away from this rack right here, I will show you guys the blue insularis. And this is actually the first snake that I ever produced was blue insularis, believe it or not. My female laid 21 babies. This is one of the 21. I don't have any of them anymore except for this one. This is the only venomous snake that I have, but it is a badass snake. Probably the prettiest snake in my collection, if I'm being honest. It's just, you know, like deep blue and that red tail. It is just a badass animal. It's a male, and I just don't really want to sell it. Get this back. Of course, the best animal in the house, Kratos, right? Kratos. He never has much to say. We're gonna move on to what I call the Tower of Power right here. And every animal in these white cages is a male. Every animal in the black cages is a female. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys all of these. All right, so the first animal I'm gonna show you guys is this import male Biak right here. And he was a red neonate, and I've had him for about 1.5 years now. I did a trade with a buddy of mine. I traded an emerald tree boa for this one. Don't regret it at all, really. It's just a great looking animal. All right, the second one is probably the cream of the crop. You know, definitely a fan favorite for sure, is Gasanova. Likes to perch weird sometimes and freak me out, but I promise he's not sick. He's fine. He does this a lot. But he is a badass animal and just has a really good disposition, has some nice blues, some nice black, those like yellowish greenish diamonds on him. They just look awesome. The next one is Guinness, who is the sire to the first clutch that I showed you guys. Again, he's a Jaeger baby, R.I.P. Jaeger, and he, you know, he looks a lot like Jaeger. He has a good amount of melanism. He's got those yellow diamonds. He's a great breeder. He's basically a Jaeger Jr., so couldn't really ask for better. He's a badass animal too. The next one is another Jaeger baby that I named Top Cheddar, and I can just go ahead and get him out because he's a lot easier on this top perch right here. But he actually just shed recently, and he is a badass animal as well. He's got some really nice colors on him. This was Jaeger Cynosis. He's not going to want to pull his head out right now. And by the way, Guinness was a Jaeger biscuit, baby. And also, all of these males were all red neos. There's no yellow neos in this white rack right here. These were all red babies. The last animal in this rack is an animal that I named Shady, and he was produced by Patrick Holmes in 2021. And I named him Shady because he just has like basically a dorsal that looks like it's shade on like all the way down it. It's a very unique black. It's a really badass looking animal, and he comes from Gem's line as well, who's Jason Stevens. So next, we're gonna move on to the black cages, and like I said before, these are all females. The two up top are grow females, and the ones down here are, they're pretty close to breeding. Actually, all of them are 2021 except for one of them. And I'm not gonna get these first two out because they're both in shed right now. But this was a import from Dan Malari. It is a red neonate Biak female, and she's a badass looking snake. I hope she keeps a lot of that yellow. But you know Biaks, who knows if she will or not. And it's kind of unfortunate that this girl right here is in shed as well, but it is what it is, and I will get her out. This is a Freight Train Mountain Drew baby, produced by Bill Stiegel in 2023. And again, it is a female, and it was a red neonate. She just, you know, just looks badass, and she probably will be shedding any day now. She has a lot of blue to her. Who knows if she'll gain more? Who knows if she'll go hormonal blue or not? But just a really amazing looking animal, and she was destined for one male in the collection. I wonder who that will be. So these next ones, except for one, and in fact, why don't I just go ahead and show you the one red neonate. And she is perched a little weird because I just adjusted her, but this is a import red neonate Biak female, and she has definitely put on some size within the past year or so. She is a big girl, and she might be going into shed, I'm not sure, but she actually has a somewhat decent temperament to her. So the next 5 are, this is a Jaeger biscuit female that was a yellow neonate and is actually siblings to Guinness. And she's a badass snake as well. She's probably I want to say probably my second favorite female in the collection. She's just got some, you know, black flecking, a little bit of yellow. Like she's got like these white spots. Like she's got this one big white spot right there. But she's a badass neo as well. She'll get a shot at breeding probably next year in 2026. The next female is a sister to her and to Guinness. And she was another yellow neonate. And she is still a beautiful animal. Doesn't have like as much yellow or black to her. She will still stay here and still get bred. She got some amazing genetics to her, especially being a Jaeger biscuit baby. Okay, so the next 3 are actually all siblings. They're all sisters. And I did a trade with a guy out in California, and he sent me these 3. Let's see. Yeah, I can just show her right there. You know, I know that they are like basically a sarong outcross, but I can't remember the exact lineage on them, but they were all yellow neos, and they're all relatively similar. I don't really need to go into too much detail with them. And I promise they might be perched a little bit weird, but it's because they're either in shed or they just ate a big meal. Just all sisters right here, all yellow neos. All right, and the last part of this tour is this wall right here. And this is kind of a mix of males and females, reds and yellows. We got some imports and we got captive bred stuff, and then one random boa. So we're gonna start off with another fan favorite, who is Aquaberry, and he is definitely my favorite yellow in the collection. He is a badass animal for sure. Definitely will be attempting to breed him this year, and hopefully something comes of it. And then next we have a Aru Sarong cross, and this is a female, and this is who I will be breeding Aquaberry to. She was kind of a smaller female, even though she's never skipped a meal at all, but she's just on the smaller side. Next we have Aquaberry's sister, whose name is Daniela, and she's got some really nice pattern colors to her. Her dorsal is almost like a purplish color rather than a blue, but she's a nice looking animal. This is the Patrick Holmes female that I had in the intro. And this is Maverick, who was the sire to the second clutch of sarongs over there. And he was actually my very first chondro ever. And he's still here, doing good, eating great, just living life. This female down here, who is a pretty big chondro. Let me see if I can get her out. She is the mom to that sarong clutch. She's actually the mom to both of my sarong clutches, but she is looking good. She's developed like this kind of dark emerald green color over the past year. She's put on her size back really nicely. She always bounces back really well from her clutches. She also lays big clutches too. She always lays like 20, 21 egg clutches, so that's always nice. This is Dam to my Guinness clutch, and she's a pure sarong as well. She's got some really nice blues, and she has bounced back really well too. She laid in November, which was only like 3 months ago, and she looks, you know, great. She doesn't look like she really even laid a clutch, but she's done really well. Okay, so these next 2, and actually I think, yeah, so these are the last 2. These are both sisters, and they come from basically like a blue line. She's always ready for food. Their dad comes from blue line, and their mom was a hormonal blue measle, and they have just put on really good size. I feed them really big meals. They just ate on Sunday, and it's Thursday right now, so it may look like they're ovulating or something, but I promise they're not. They just got fed a really big meal. This girl really looks like she's ovulating, but again, she's not. And last but not least would be Sandy down here, who is the Sunglow boa constrictor. And she was actually the first snake that I got whenever I got back into the hobby in 2019. I got her and then I got Maverick. And I don't have a lot of non-green trees. In fact, I think I only have 3 snakes that are not green tree pythons. She'll stay with me until, you know, either until she goes or something else happens. You know, I like having her here. She's good to take out whenever people come over who want to hold a big snake. Really good disposition, never struck, never done anything. So okay, I think that about does it. All right, so that just about does it. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe, drop a comment. I thought I'd leave you guys with just one more look at this Freight Train Outbreak baby produced by Bill Stiegel. Phoenix Reptiles, shout out. Also, that's his shirt. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.